Do you believe that even with a low income, it's possible to save money and achieve your dreams? What if I told you that the key to getting out of financial struggle and thriving lies in how you think and act with your money? Today, we're going to reveal how you can transform your financial life starting right now, without waiting for a raise or winning the lottery. The secret? Changing your mindset and adopting simple strategies that anyone can follow. And the best part, you don't need to be a financial expert to get started. Have you ever thought about what you could do with an emergency fund? And what if, instead of scraping by at the end of the month, you had full control over your money, knowing exactly where it goes and how to make it work for you? These questions may seem far off, but throughout this video, you will discover that the key to achieving this is within your reach, even if today it seems impossible to save with the income you have. Many people believe that saving money is something only for those who earn a lot. This common belief limits us and makes us think that only those with a high income can save. But the truth is, with the right strategies and small changes in your daily life, you can start saving today, no matter how much you earn. This video isn't about magic formulas, but rather about real, tested, and proven practices that you can apply to start transforming your relationship with money. From now on, let's learn together how the right mindset and a few simple actions can completely change your financial future. If you believe that saving is impossible with what you earn, that thought is already limiting you. By changing your mindset, you open the door to new opportunities and, with them, a more solid and prosperous financial future. You will learn how to organize your finances, cut expenses you don't even notice, and create habits that can change your life. So before we dive into practical tips, take a moment to give this video a like. This helps more people discover this content and could be your first step toward taking control of your finances. Saving money isn't just a smart choice. It's a necessity for anyone seeking financial security and independence, even with a limited income. Many people believe that only those who earn a lot can save, but that's far from the truth. The key to saving isn't in how much you earn, but in how you manage what you already have. Imagine the peace of knowing that, in an emergency, you have a reserve set aside to handle unexpected expenses. Saving gives you control over your life, allowing you to be prepared for both opportunities and challenges. When you start saving, even little by little, you build a safety net that frees you from relying on loans or facing stressful financial situations. Beyond that, saving brings you closer to your dreams, whether it's buying something you've been wanting, investing in your education, or even planning that trip that once seemed out of reach. Saving is about freedom, the freedom to choose and the freedom to say yes to opportunities that come your way. No matter your income, there is always a way to save, and it starts with small changes in your financial behavior. Saving is a practice that can be developed, and the sooner you start, the sooner you'll see the benefits. Now that you understand the importance of saving, the next step is to know where your money is going. Without this knowledge, saving becomes much harder. So the first step is to analyze your personal finances. Start by creating a detailed map of your expenses. Take a notebook, a spreadsheet, or a finance app and record all your daily, weekly, and monthly costs. Include everything, from major expenses like rent and utilities to small daily expenses, like that soda you buy every day without thinking. Often it's in these small expenses where your money slips away unnoticed. Think about this. If you spend a little on a snack daily, by the end of the month, that amount can be significant. This simple analysis will help you identify where your financial leaks are and give you clarity on where you can cut expenses. Besides mapping your expenses, it's also important to understand exactly how much you're earning. Many people receive a monthly salary, but also have additional income sources, like freelance work or overtime. All these sources need to be considered, so you have a complete overview of your finances. Now that you know the importance of saving and have started analyzing your finances, it's time to move on to something exciting, creating realistic financial goals. But wait, what does that mean? It's simple. When you have a clear goal, saving becomes much easier. A common mistake is thinking that saving is just about putting money away without a defined purpose. In reality, if you don't know why you're saving, it becomes harder to stay motivated in the long run. So let's put this into practice. The first step is to set short, medium, and long-term goals. Think about what you want to achieve in the next few months. It could be something small, like buying a new phone, or paying for a course to improve your professional skills. That's a short-term goal. Now look a bit further ahead. What do you want to do in 1 or 2 years? Maybe save for a down payment on a car, for example. That's your medium-term goal. Finally, what are your big dreams? Buying a house, retiring early? Those are your long-term goals. Each of these goals needs to be specific and achievable. There's no point in saying, I want to be rich, without having a clear idea of what that means to you. Set deadlines and amounts, even in terms of effort, if you don't know the exact value yet, and create a plan. This will keep you motivated and focused on what really matters. Imagine the following. Anna wants to buy a car in 5 years. but she has no idea how much she needs to save per month to reach this goal. So she does the math and discovers that by saving a specific amount each month, she will reach her goal within the time frame. The most interesting part? By seeing her progress month after month, Anna feels more motivated to keep saving. Another important point is to adjust your goals according to your reality. If, for some reason, you can't save as much as you initially planned, adjust your goal, but don't give up. The key is to keep moving forward, even if it's in smaller steps. What matters is staying focused and committed to your objectives. Now let's talk about one of the best ways to truly start saving: cutting daily expenses. If you think that saving means you need to stop living, you're mistaken. You can make adjustments in your day-to-day life that won't compromise your quality of life and will still help you save a lot. Did you know that small cuts in seemingly insignificant expenses can make a big difference at the end of the month? Let's start with impulse buying. Have you ever had the urge to buy a coffee on your way to work every day? That's a small expense that, when added up, can impact much more than you imagine. Another simple example: the meals we have at work. Eating out at restaurants may be convenient, but it can also be a hidden expense that adds up without you realizing it. Now imagine the impact on your savings if you start bringing your own meals from home. Not only is it much cheaper, but you also have full control over what you eat. You can prepare healthier meals and vary your recipes. It's a simple way to reduce expenses without sacrificing quality. And the best part? The result in your budget will be immediate. Another great tip: make a shopping list before going to the supermarket and stick to that list. This helps avoid unnecessary purchases that drain your money. Have you ever gone to buy 3 items and left with a full cart? That's the magic of supermarket marketing, and you can outsmart it with a good list. And how about renegotiating your contracts? Internet, phone, cable TV. Sometimes we pay for services we aren't fully using. Pick up the phone, call these companies, and see if you can get better rates. It costs nothing to try and could result in significant savings. Here's a quick story. Carlos had the habit of buying coffee every day before work. When he stopped to do the math, he realized that by the end of the month, this habit was costing him much more than he thought. So, he decided to switch from bought coffee to homemade coffee. And guess what? The savings were immediate, and he felt in control of his finances. These small changes, no matter how minor, make a big difference when it comes to saving. Now, with these techniques in mind, you can start to see where you can cut expenses without losing comfort or enjoyment in your daily life. And if these tips are making sense to you, take a moment to give this video a like. That shows me that we're on the right track and helps others find this content that could transform their finances. Now let's talk about an essential part of your financial life: fixed expenses. These are the financial commitments you have every month, like rent, electricity, water, internet, and even subscription services. And here's the secret: with a bit of organization, it's possible to reduce these expenses and balance your finances even more. The first step is to understand exactly what your fixed expenses are. Many times, people don't have a clear idea of how much they're spending monthly in each area. Simply listing all your fixed expenses will give you a clear view of how much of your budget is already committed. Now that you know where your money is going, it's time to analyze what can be renegotiated. For example, you can review service contracts like internet, phone, and even cable TV subscriptions. Often we end up paying for packages we don't fully use. Don't hesitate to contact these companies and negotiate better rates. A simple phone call could result in significant savings. Another important point: don't let fixed expenses get out of control. Sometimes they increase automatically, like energy and water bills, if we don't pay attention. Small adjustments in your electricity or water consumption can make a big difference at the end of the month. Use LED bulbs, reduce shower time, and turn off appliances that stay on standby. These changes may seem small, but when added up, they can have a significant impact. Remember, fixed expenses are those you have less control over. So the more organized they are, the more freedom you'll have to manage your variable expenses. Ideally, always maintain a safety margin in your budget, so you're not caught off guard by unexpected situations. Now that you're organizing your fixed expenses, let's talk about one of the most powerful habits for transforming your financial life: saving every month. Here's a truth that can change the game. You don't need to wait for money to be left over to save. Saving should be the first thing you do when you receive your income, not what's left at the end of the month. But how do you create this habit? The first step is to decide on a fixed percentage of your income that will go to savings every month without fail. It doesn't matter if the amount is small at first. What matters is consistency. Think of it as a commitment to your future. Start with a percentage that you can maintain without major sacrifices, and over time, you can increase it. Here's a practical tip: automate your savings. There are several banking options or apps that allow you to set up an automatic transfer to your savings account as soon as you receive your salary. This eliminates the temptation to spend before setting aside the amount you want to save. Now, imagine this situation. A young man had trouble saving because he always left it for the end of the month and never had anything left. One day, he decided to automate a small part of his income to be transferred as soon as he was paid. The change was simple, but the impact was enormous. In no time, he realized he had accumulated a good amount, and this motivated him to keep saving without even thinking about it. The secret here is to turn saving into a habit, something automatic in your routine. The more consistent you are, the more you'll see your money grow. Over time, this habit will become second nature. You won't even question whether you should save or not. You'll just do it without hesitation. If you can implement this change, you'll be creating a solid foundation to build your financial independence. Remember, saving isn't about how much you earn, but how you use what you earn. And over time, you'll see how this simple habit can transform your future. Now that we've talked about saving and organizing your expenses, here's a key tip for anyone who wants to speed up the process of improving their finances: increasing your income through alternative sources. Many times we believe our only source of income is our regular salary, but that's far from the truth. The good news is that with the internet and the digital economy, there are many ways to generate extra income. And the best part? You can start right now without needing significant investments or complicated skills. Let's think about some practical options. Do you have a talent or skill that can be monetized? Maybe you're good at repairs, bake amazing cakes, or have a knack for video editing. These talents can be turned into business opportunities. And yes, even small jobs like these can make a big difference in your budget at the end of the month. For example, Lucy is great at photography, but she never thought she could make money from it. She started offering her services for friends and family's events and gradually gained more clients. What started as a hobby turned into a significant source of extra income. Another idea is to sell items you no longer use. Clothes, electronics, furniture. Online sales platforms make this process simple and quick. You'd be surprised how much you can make just by letting go of items that are no longer useful to you, but could be valuable to someone else. And then there's freelancing. There are many websites where you can offer services like writing, graphic design, translation, programming, and much more. It's a quick way to start earning money without leaving home, using skills you already have. Before we move on to the next tips, let me ask, is this making sense to you? If so, take a moment to give this video a like. This helps the video reach more people who are also looking for ways to improve their finances and increase their income. And of course, subscribe to the channel to stay updated with more content like this. Now that we've discussed increasing your income, let's focus on another essential area for improving your finances: making smart purchases. After all, saving doesn't mean you stop buying. It means buying more consciously and strategically. Start with a simple rule: always plan your purchases. This applies to both daily purchases, like groceries, and larger items, like electronics or clothing. Before you head out to buy something, make a list and stick to it. This helps you avoid impulse buys, which are a real budget killer. Another important point is to compare prices. It may sound basic, but believe it or not, many people still don't do this. Nowadays, there are countless online tools that make price comparison easy, helping you find the best deal without leaving your house. You might be surprised at the price differences that just a few minutes of research can reveal. A smart strategy is also to buy out of season. For example, buying winter clothes during the summer or electronics right after a new model is released can save you a lot. Stores often offer aggressive discounts to clear out stock, and you can take advantage of that. And don't forget about discount coupons and cashback programs. Often, these small perks can add up to a significant amount of savings over time. There are apps that help you find discounts and coupons for the stores you shop at. So use these tools to your advantage. Making smart purchases is about maximizing the value of every penny you spend. It's not about living with restrictions, but about making more strategic choices. With a little planning and attention, you can significantly reduce your expenses without losing quality of life. Now let's talk about something fundamental for your financial security: the emergency fund. Having an emergency fund is the difference between facing an unexpected situation calmly or panicking in a crisis. The idea is simple. Set aside an amount to cover unexpected situations like health problems, home repairs, or even a temporary loss of income. The emergency fund acts as a safety net, ensuring that you won't need to rely on loans or credit cards in times of crisis. But how do you start building this fund? The key is to start small and be consistent. You don't need to think about large amounts right away. The important thing is to start, whether with a fixed amount per month or with whatever is left over from your savings. Over time, this amount will grow, and soon you'll have enough to cover any unforeseen circumstances. Ideally, your emergency fund should cover 3 to 6 months of your essential expenses. This may seem like a lot at first, but the important thing is to take the first step and build it up little by little. Before you know it, you'll be much more financially protected. Imagine a common situation: an unexpected car problem or an urgent medical expense. Having an emergency fund prevents these events from ruining your budget or, worse, putting you in debt. It's like being prepared for the worst without letting it affect your financial routine. The emergency fund also gives you peace of mind. Knowing that you have a reserve for tough situations removes a lot of pressure from your daily life and allows you to focus on your long-term goals without the fear that any unforeseen event will derail everything. Now that you've learned how to organize your expenses, save monthly, and even increase your income, let's talk about one of the biggest challenges when it comes to finances: maintaining the discipline and motivation to keep saving. Saving money isn't a one-time action. It's a habit that needs to be cultivated daily, and like any habit, staying disciplined can be difficult, especially when you don't see results immediately. But trust me, the results are coming. Every amount you save is a step toward your financial freedom. One of the best ways to stay motivated is to visualize your goals. Remember those short, medium, and long-term goals we discussed earlier? Go back to them whenever you feel like you're losing focus. Imagine yourself reaching your goals, whether it's that dream trip, buying something important, or the peace of mind of having a solid financial reserve. Visualizing what you're aiming for will give you the boost to stay firm in your savings plan. Another powerful technique is to celebrate small victories. Don't wait until you've achieved a big goal to acknowledge your effort. If you manage to save a significant amount at the end of a tough month, celebrate. If you paid off a debt or saved more than expected, that's reason to be proud. Small wins keep your energy and motivation high, encouraging you to keep going. Now, let's talk about discipline. It comes from consistency. Making savings an essential part of your routine, like brushing your teeth or taking a walk, ensures that you stay on the right path. The more automatic this habit becomes, the less effort it will take to maintain it. And before you know it, saving will be a natural part of your life, without causing anxiety or stress. It also helps to stay informed. Keep watching videos, reading books, and following content that inspires you to keep learning about personal finance. The more you understand about the positive impact of saving, the more motivated you'll feel to continue. Knowledge is a powerful tool to maintain your discipline. Finally, remember that saving doesn't mean living with restrictions. Balance is key. Allow yourself to enjoy the present, but always responsibly. Knowing that you're taking care of your future while still living in the present will keep your motivation high, month after month. We've reached the end of this video, and if you've made it this far, congratulations. That means you're committed to transforming your financial life, and that's the first big step toward success. Now let's recap everything we've learned. You've discovered that saving is indeed possible, even with a limited income. We've learned the importance of starting with small actions, organizing your fixed expenses, and adopting the habit of saving every month. We also covered how, with cost-cutting techniques and good organization, you can reduce expenses without sacrificing your quality of life. In addition, we talked about increasing your income through alternative sources, such as freelancing or selling items you no longer use. And of course, how to make smart purchases using coupons, comparing prices, and planning every purchase to maximize your savings. Another crucial point was building your emergency fund, a financial safety net that gives you peace of mind when facing unexpected events. And to wrap everything up, we talked about staying disciplined and motivated, remembering that saving is not a one-time thing, but a life habit that you build day by day with consistency. Now, with all these tools in hand, you have the roadmap to change your relationship with money and, over time, achieve financial independence. But of course, this will only happen if you put everything into practice. Watching the video alone won't do it. The secret is to start now, with what you have, and make adjustments along the way. Before we close, I want you to reflect. How will your life be a year from now if you start saving and organizing your finances today? Imagine the opportunities that could arise, the peace of mind of having an emergency fund, and the freedom to pursue your dreams without the burden of debt or financial worries. If these ideas resonate with you, take a moment to give this video a like. It not only helps us continue creating impactful content, but also helps more people access these valuable tips. And of course, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos, where we'll continue bringing practical strategies to improve your financial life. Now tell me in the comments, which of these tips will you put into practice first? I really want to know how these strategies are helping you, and I'd love to hear your questions and suggestions. Thank you so much for staying with me until the end, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take good care of your finances and continue on this journey toward your financial